Hello everyone, welcome back to my stream channel. So as you of course know, the new set is coming out, Outlaws of Junction, and today is a part 2 of my limited set review, and I'm going to discuss rares and mythics today. So it all in the point of view of limited only, but during our discussion we also can touch some constructed, but it's just limited set review. And just gonna go ahead and remind you of my rating system. It's here down below. So 5 is a bomb, 4 is excellent, it's our first pick, it's a card that puts us in a certain color. 3.5 is also excellent, but the slight difference is that it's a card that we would always play in an already chosen color. 3 is good, 2.5 mediocre or a build around, 2 is a filler, and 1 is a bad card. So there's that. And without any further ado, here is our first rare, which is in white. Another round. And yes, another small disclaimer, I haven't seen any of the rares or mythics, so this is also my sort of first impressions. And yeah, okay, let's go. So another round. Double X and 3, 2 and 1 white sorcery. Exile any number of creatures you control, then return them to the battlefield under their owner's control. Then repeat this process X more times. Okay. Listen, I don't really believe in blinking in limited. I don't know. It's a weird card for limited. Costs a lot, and I mean, I don't know. Even maybe like in some crazy build around. Honestly, I don't think so. Because like as we've discussed previously, let's say part 1 of the set review, Azorius is all about casting spells during your opponent's turn, or you don't cast your spells from hand during your turn. So that's like a theme of this archetype. Then like in Orzhov, would it fit in Orzhov? I'm not sure. What else? Boris. Also, I don't think so, because Boris is all about going wide. It's all about those mercenary tokens, right? So yeah, I don't know. For limited, I don't think it's very applicable. So honestly, I would say like 2 for limited. I don't want to say 1. However, like honestly, I don't think it's for limited, but I'm gonna say 2 instead of 1. Okay. Let's move on. Sorry. Here are my white cards. So there are 9 of them. Next one is Archangel of Tithes. So 4 mana, 1 and 3 white. Creature Angel 3/5 flying. As long as Archangel of Tithe is untapped, creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. As long as Archangel of Tithe is attacking, creatures can't block unless their controllers pays 1 for each of those creatures. Okay, so here comes a bomb, but I mean, triple white is a little bit concerning at the same time. Like, come on, for 4 mana you get an angel. That, like, it's a pretty defensive creature, right? Like, based on the first ability. And that's interesting. I think it can work both ways, right? First ability is pretty defensive if you're a little bit behind, but the second one, like, come on. Come on, attacking. Okay. I feel like it's probably a 4, you know? It's probably a 4. I mean, it's a very solid creature. Like, the abilities, I feel like they can be very annoying. My only concern is, like, triple white. I feel like it's still, like, excellent. It's, like, first pick. You know what? I probably would first pick it. Triple white, though. Like, now I'm debating it, you know? Is it, like, 3.5 or 4? I mean, I get how it can be, like, very annoying. You know what? Let's say I'm just gonna deduce, I'm sorry, half a point for the mana cost. I don't know. Yeah. But honestly, just because of the mana cost. Haven Interrupter for 3 mana, 1 and double white. Listen, what's up with those mana costs? Anyways, it's a bird rogue. Okay, so it's a relevant creature type. 2/2 flash flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile target spell. It becomes plotted. Okay. Spells your opponents cast from graveyards or from exile cost 2 more to cast. Okay. So this obviously relates to the plotting mechanic in limited. This is nice. Honestly, this actually works very well with Azorius theme because it has flash. Yeah. I mean, in what situation would you want to cast it? I mean, if your opponent casts something, you can delay their spell, right? So that sort of a deal. I mean, it's a nice creature, of course. It's not a bomb, but it's pretty solid. It's useful, right? So I would say, like, probably also like 3.5, right? If you're in white, you would always pick that, I would assume. So let's give it this rate. Quite high, I mean, but alright, so next one is Claim Jumper for 3 mana, 2 and 1 white. Creature Rabbit Mercenary. Again, another relevant creature type. 3/3 Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you may search your library for a Plains card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then, if an opponent controls more lands than you, repeat this process once. If you search your library this way, shuffle. Okay. This is nice. Honestly, this is pretty cool. Like, generally, these creatures that look for a land are always good because it's value, right? You get a card. You filter your lands from the deck. So, yeah, I quite like it, and the ability is nice. I would say that it's probably also like 3.5, honestly. Like, it's a very useful creature. I like the ETB. I mean, 3/3/4/3 Vigilance is okay. Honestly, now that I'm thinking of that, probably I should have. Probably Archangel deserves more than 3.5, but I don't know. Like, the mana cost like really threw me off. That triple white. It's gonna be very hard to cast on your turn 4. And that's my concern. The Claim Jumper, pretty nice. Pretty nice. Alright. Next up is Dust Animus for 2 mana, 1 and 1 white. Spirit 2/3 with flying. If you control 5 or more untapped lands, Dust Animus enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters and a lifelink counter on it. And it has a plot cost of 2. So plotting in general gives cards flexibility, which is nice. So, you know, if you cannot activate this ability, you can also always plot this card and then cast it, or rather play it with value. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. I honestly wouldn't mind to cast it on my turn 2 as is, but it's nice that it has a plot, you know. So like mid/late game, it's gonna be 4/5 lifelink, like hello. Yeah, it's very nice. Honestly, it's very solid. Again, I kind of wanted to put it 3.5, but let's say 3, right? It's a very cool to drop. It's very cool to drop. Yeah, it's nice that it has options. Honestly, I want to give it a 3.5 at this point. It's like flyer for 2 mana. Honestly, it's, yeah, like we were rating Wind Drakes for 3, so let's give it 3.5. Again, honestly, like these rares, man, they look very, very strong. Okay, final showdown for 1 mana instant with Spree. So for +1, all creatures lose all abilities until end of turn. For +1, choose a creature you control, it gains indestructible until end of turn. And for +5, 3 and double white, destroy all creatures. So of course, I guess only for the third ability, it's very good. It's like, it's extremely good in limited. Hello there. Well, I stream in English. That's what I do. All right. Like, I mean, obviously, the third ability is like a bomb. It's a bomb ability for limited, but let's discuss the first 2 ones. So all creatures lose all abilities until end of turn. I guess that's not that applicable in limited, or not that much. It's like extremely situational. So, and the second one, it gains indestructible. It's also like, if we consider it as a combat trick, it's also like so. But I mean, if you open it, I guess you would take it, right? I don't like that those like 2 modes, the first 2 modes are not great and destroy all creatures for 6 mana. Hello, Zafri. Hello. Oh my god, thank you so much for a subscription. Thank you. Truly appreciate it. Listen, I'm gonna give it a 4 just because of the third ability. Yeah. I mean, this, like, sweepers in general are very good and limited. When they're like 6 mana, because we've seen sweepers for 4 mana, and now, like, is it good enough? But I'm gonna give it a 4 regardless. Listen, I have an audience from all over the world, so I'm taking pride in it. Yeah, you could write in chat, so you can chat in English, in French, in German, or in Russian. I understand and speak all of those languages, but I would appreciate if you chat in English, so, you know, everybody can join in and understand each other. Right. Next up is Fortune Loyal Steed for 3 mana, legendary creature beast mount this way. 2/4. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. Whenever it attacks while settled, at the end of combat, exile it as up to one creature that settled it this turn. Okay, so you exile the creature that settled it, and then return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. So basically, you can blink a creature that settled it. Settle is only 1. Okay. I mean, it's a good creature, right? Just in general, I mean, the ability... Okay, so for limited, like this blinking effect, I mean, it may come useful, right? Because we've seen quite a few creatures with ETBs. But I don't know, like, it's just a good creature, I would say. It's nice that you scry as ETB, and but like it doesn't have any evasion at the same time. I mean, still, I would say like it's a 3. You know, it's just, you know, a solid creature. Nothing special though. Okay. I didn't get your question, to be honest. So let's move on. High Noon. 2 mana, 1 and 1 white enchantment. Each player can cast more than one spell each turn, and it has an activate ability of 5, 4 and 1 red. Sacrifice it. It deals 5 damage to any target. Okay, so it's like a delayed removal in limited. I would assume it's gonna be some sort of a sideboard card in constructed, but in limited, I don't think it's that good, honestly. Like 5 damage for what? For 7 mana and different colors. I don't think so. I think it's a 2 for limited. At the same time, like, you know, okay, to any target. Would you play it? Would you play it? In draft, I mean, it's definitely not a first pick. It's nice that it deals damage to any target, but oh man, it's like, it's so slow. It's so slow. Generally, I rate quite highly those cards that deal damage to any target. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah. In limited, it's also applicable, Zafre. That's a good point. Yeah. Could be something. You know what? Still a 2, right? Okay, moving on. One last job. So 3 mana, 2 and 1 white, sorcery with spree. For +2, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, +1, return target mount or vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And +1, return target aura or equipment card from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to creature you control. Wow. Okay, so let's discuss those spree cards. Again, how do we rate them? Those are not your usual model cards, right? And I think the quality, or I don't know, if you can cast all of those modes at the same time and they are relevant at the same time, this is, I feel like, is a very excellent spree. Otherwise, it's just your modal card, right? This makes sense. Okay, so man, for 5 mana, we can return. We can reanimate a creature. So it's your standard 5 mana sorcery reanimation spell, but in white. Okay, this is new, right? We've seen it in black, but not in white. That's nice. For 4 mana, you can return mount on vehicle, which is also pretty interesting. I mean, it's a reanimation spell in white. That's what it is. Okay, so I guess it's gonna be particularly good in Orzhov, just because of that sacrifice synergy. So you can, you know, recharge, you can bring back something that you sacrificed, or I don't know, maybe it can work like that. I would say like 2.5. I'm gonna rate this card as 2.5 because it can be something, and like generally I really like reanimation spells, but being it in white color, it's a little bit strange. So I think, I mean, at the same time, right, mount or vehicle, it's like it hints you Selesnya, so I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I guess still fine. All right, so that's that. Those were our white rares and mythics. Let's move on to blue. First one is Archmage's Newt. For 2 mana, 1 and 1 blue, 2/2, Salamander Mount. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost, and that card gains flashback 0 until end of turn instead if Archmage's Newt is saddled. Wow, that's nice. And saddle is 3. Okay, so saddle cost is pretty high. I think that saddle 3 is probably the max. But at the same time, like, come on, this effect is pretty cool. I mean, even if it's not saddled, it's alright, right? So, some sort of Snapcaster mage. Not really, but still. But when it's saddled, it's pretty cool. Exactly, that is exactly what I was going to say, that how it's gonna deal damage to a player. Like, seriously, it doesn't have any evasion, it doesn't have flash. I mean, if you could like potentially cast it end of turn, right, and your opponent wouldn't know about it, so you could probably deal damage. Oh man, the ability is pretty neat. The ability is very cool, but yes, the question is how it's gonna deal damage to an opponent. Because, I mean, if you cast it in your turn 2, alright, but then you probably wouldn't have anything to flash back, right? Early turns, and then it just, you know, it's not attacking. So yeah, that's a problem, but I'm gonna give it a 3 still because of the ability, right? And it's a 2 drop. Is it a 3 or 2.5? I mean, I feel like you could probably incorporate it, and but yeah, like dealing damage to the opponent is gonna be the hardest part. But still, like a creature like on its own is good. Yeah, I agree. It feels like a build around, because like in any blue deck, it's probably just gonna be your 3 drop. Saddle cost, it's a little bit weird because saddle and mount, this theme is in Selesnya colors, and it's a blue creature. But I mean, yeah, you know what? Okay, let's give it 2.5. Yeah, it's not that universal. It's not a universally good. It's not gonna be universally good. It's my favorite outlaw, Rakdos. I mean, Rakdos is my life, honestly. Next up is Double Down, for 4 mana, 3 and 1 blue enchantment. Whenever you cast an outlaw spell, copy that spell. Wow, this is nice. This is this is pretty cool. Okay, my problem is that with that enchantment is that like you cast it and it doesn't do anything unless you've plotted an outlaw turn before, or like in one of your previous turns. That can be something, you know. Plotting like is very interesting mechanic. Gives you so much flexibility, right? Because like you cast it and at the same time you cast an outlaw that you've plotted before. That's nice. You would first pick this in draft, but honestly, why not, right? And then you can just build around. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's very nice. Build around. Honestly, yeah. Like me personally, I would also first pick it, just because yeah, the effect is really cool. I'm gonna say it's a 4, just because this card doesn't win on its own. You need to do some work. You need to have a deck that, you know, is working with that. So, but let's say it's a bomb build route, right? Yeah, definitely. I like it. Okay, next up is Duelist of the Mind. All right, hello Nathan Sawyer. So for 2 mana, 1 and 1 blue, creature Human Advisor for X and 3 flying vigilance. So Duelist of the Mind's power is equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. Whenever you commit a crime, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay. So obviously it's more of a constructed card. Right, and as for limited, I mean, it's not an outlaw, unfortunately, so it doesn't have a relevant creature type for this set. But other than that, where would it fit? Like, committing a crime is like if you're playing blue, it's a Dimir guild. It's in Dimir colors. I don't know. Would you first pick it? Probably not. But like, it's still pretty solid, right? Flying vigilance, at least like 1/3, at least 1/3 flying vigilance. So what would we give to the card? Probably like still 3, right? Because I mean, committing a crime should not be that hard in this set, but still, like, the problem is that it triggers only once each turn, so maximum is gonna be like 2/3, but still. Right, let's give it to 3. Let's give it to 3 for limited. It's still a good card. Flyer vigilance for 2 mana is okay. Next up, we're both lost on the range. Both is so cute. I mean, honestly, I quite like that Wizards started making this sets quirkier and quirkier. I don't know, and this set in particular is so fun. Okay, so this creature costs 3 mana, 1 and double blue, 1/1. It has ward 2. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. The top card of your library has plot. The plot cost is equal to its mana cost. You may plot non-land cards from the top of your library. Okay, this is nice. It has nice abilities, but like this mana cost. Ah! But the ability is pretty cool, right? Like the fact that you can plot your top decks. Well, non-land cards. That's pretty nice. Howdy, howdy. Oh man. Are you gonna pick it? Like, first pick it? Like, of course, it depends on what you've got in the bag, but... Honestly, I would give it like 3.5, just because the ability is really strong. But like, yeah, 1/1 for 3 mana is probably not great, but honestly, this ability, the ability is very strong. I agree, I agree. Yes, well, we all do. In this plane. On this plane. Okay, next one is Geralf. Geralf, yeah, hello from Innistrad. The Flash, right? For 3 mana, 2 and 1 blue. Human Warlock. Okay, let's go creature type. 2/3. Whenever you cast a spell during your turn, other than your first spell that turn, create a 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature token. So, double spells, right? And whenever a zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each other zombie that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. Wow. This is cool. This is very neat. And double spelling, I feel like it's gonna be it. Like, I'm pretty excited about this. First, like, it's an EZ theme, double spelling. And this is very nice. Like, this is huge. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 4. You know, again, this card, it requires some work. Like, honestly, the ability though. Like, even the first part is very strong. I like it. Okay. Yeah, this is amazing. Like, I feel like it can go nuts pretty fast. I mean, especially if you get to turn 3 and then you start like plotting and whatnot. That's actually another thing, right? How fast the format is gonna be with all those shenanigans. That's interesting. The key to the vault for 2 mana, 1 and 1 blue, legendary artifact equipment. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may exile a non-land card from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. This is nice. And the equip cost is 3, 2 and 1 blue. Okay. The fact is amazing. Honestly, I feel like it's a first pick, but at the same time, you need flyers, you need creatures with evasion to make it work. So, you know, the fact is amazing. I would say it reminds me a lot, you know, like this reality chip. I get that it's not the same because reality chip was a creature of its own, but it gives me like similar vibes in terms of like value, that it's not that fast, but like the effect is amazing once it's working. I'm just debating whether it's like 4 or 3.5. I don't know. I quite like it. I'm gonna give it a 4. Again, let's say that it's like a build-around bomb. I don't like that the crew costs 3, but then like the effect, honestly, probably justifies it. And maybe it's all for a reason. You know, we've seen some cards that look quite slow for a modern limited, but I guess it was made on purpose. So maybe they want to slow things down with this format. I don't know. Can I cast the exiled cards? Yeah, you have a card selection, and depending on how much damage you've dealt, then you may exile an online card from among them, and yeah, you just cast it without paying its mana cost. It's amazing. Next up is Stab Between Worlds. 5 mana, 3 and double blue sorcery. Each player may shuffle their hand and graveyard into their library. Each player who does draws 7 cards, exile Stab Between Worlds, and it has a plot cost of 6, 4 and double blue. All right. Yeah. Sorry, I guess I didn't get the question. Of course, only with the key. Yeah. Listen, this is like what each player. It's not good, or yeah, exactly. I'm like confused. Am I not getting it right? But like, come on. You're like why? Like in what situation? I'm just thinking like, when exactly would I want to cast that? And especially like in the late game, if you're plotting for 6 men, like, oh my god. I would assume that you've already cast the majority of your spells, and so did your opponent. Why? That's just, oh man. I want to give it a 1. Is it too crazy, or do I not get it? People, do I not get it? I don't know. Anyway. Our deck will be worse for this card, and yeah, I mean, I'm like utterly confused. I feel like it's just for limited, it's extremely bad. Okay, for historic bans. Actually, I haven't played historic in quite some time, so honestly, I didn't even look it up. So yeah. Stoic Sphinx for 4 mana, 2 and double blue. Have Sphinx 5/3 flash flying. Okay, so any creature that has flash, like you think about Azorius, like first off. But anyway, Stoic Sphinx has hexproof as long as you haven't cast a spell this turn. Okay, so this Sphinx, this card is designed for Azorius and its synergy. But I mean, it's just, you know, it's a solid creature. It's 5/3 flyer for 4 mana anyways, but Azorius archetype would benefit from it particularly, like in particular. But I mean, it's extremely good. Like, it's very good. It's very aggressive. Honestly, it's a 4. just because it's a solid creature on its own. Welcome to Fire. Thank you for a follow. Yeah, exactly. Like what you gonna do about it, right? Turn 4, 5/3 flyer. Hello. Next up is 3 steps ahead for 1 mana instant with spree, or +2, 1 and 1 white, counter target spell. So okay, it's your 3 mana cancel. Then +3, create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control. And +2, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Okay. Again, I feel like this spree card is a pure modal card, right? Because like, could you imagine a situation where you wanna like cast the spell for what, like 1, 3, 6, 8 mana and use all the modes? Probably not. Or I mean, maybe. Maybe in response to some bomb late game, but man, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think that it's a particularly good card, but it's all right. It's all right. It's not your first pick, definitely, but like 2. I would say like it's a 2, to be honest. Like cancel, how good cancel is gonna be in this set, well, we're to find out, but well, yeah, maybe it's a good point when the counter isn't good, just yeah, you cycle it, but still I feel like it's a 2 still, right? Like, I mean, if you're playing blue, some like defensive blue, I would say, or actually Azores is also fine. Yeah, but truly, I think that you can pick it up pretty late if you need to. Next up, okay. Here comes Jace Reawakened. For double blue, we have a Planeswalker Jace. Like, listen, I haven't read the storyline, but like, what was that? Jace pretended to be Ashok. I don't know. Okay, but this card, it has 3 loyalty counters. Static ability is that you can't cast the spell during your first, second, or third turns of the game, so you can only cast it on your turn 4. Okay, for +1, draw a card, then discard a card. For +1, you may exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your hand. If you do, it becomes plotted. And -6, until end of turn, whenever you cast a spell, copy it, you may choose new targets for the copy. Okay, so the ultimate is very strong, of course, because you copy any spell. Like, it's amazing, right? Yeah. But like, come on, even if you cast on your turn 4, it's very synergetic with double spelling, right? Because it only costs 2 mana. Yeah, any Planeswalker, you know, they're hard to deal with. Oh. Sorry, I have just some, yeah. It's a 5. Yeah, how Ashok became Jace in terms of lore? No, it's Jace. Jace was pretended to be Ashok. That's what I know, but that's pretty much it. Because I haven't read lore, I haven't read the storyline. But yeah. Alright, so Jace. As any planeswalker is very good for limited. Okay, so we're done with blue. Okay, now moving on to black. Yeah, I mean, of course. And like the fact that you can double spell when you return 4. Amazing. Anyway, our first black rare, Caustic Bronco. For 2 mana. But okay, let's appreciate this snake horse. Like, what is this? Like, who came up with this snake horse? I cannot. This looks weird AF. Okay, Snake Horse Mount for 2 mana, creature 2/2. Whenever it attacks, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. You lose life equal to that card's mana value. If okay, you lose life equal to that card's mana value if this creature isn't saddled. Otherwise, each opponent loses that much life. Like, oh, hello. Honestly, yeah. I love this card too. Famous snores. Yeah. And saddle 3. Again, like, saddle cost is up there. It's the maximum saddle cost there is. But still, like, the effect is pretty amazing. I like the fact that you don't have to saddle for it to work, for this ability to work. And it's a great 2-drop. Like, honestly, it's pure mana value. Again, like, dark confident vibes, like, and yeah. Very nice, very nice. It's a 4, I feel like. It's definitely a 4. Because, like, comparing to the creature, to that blue one, Archmage's Snoot, that it had to deal damage to do something. This is just, you know, it attacks. It just, you know, it just has to go to combat at least once for you to get a card. Yeah, Plant Spider. Yeah, that was also like one of the strangest things I've ever seen in my life. This Cactarantula. What was it? Yeah, something like that, right? But this creature is amazing. Moving on. Giza, the Hellraiser. Okay, another creature from Innistrad. Giza costs 5 mana, 3 and double black, 4/4. Human Warlock. It has War 2. And you have to pay 2 life. Skeletons and zombies you control get +1/+1 and have manas. Okay, nice. Whenever you commit a crime, create 2 tapped 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature tokens. This ability triggers only once troll. Hello, Giza. Hello, hello. Honestly, it's a bomb. Because, again, it's gonna be so great pretty much in any black deck, but in particular in Rakdos, in Dimir, where the theme is committing crime. This is amazing. But honestly, like, committing crime, it's so easy. Like, in any archetype, you're gonna commit a crime. Yeah, this is a bomb. Honestly, it's incredible. It has to work once, and like, come on. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, yeah. What else? What else is there to discuss, right? Next up is Insatiable Avarice for 1 black mana, sorcery with Spree, +2, search your library for a card, then shuffle and put the card on top. Okay. And for, plus double black, target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. Okay. I mean, if you have Giza in your deck, You would probably want to include this rare as well, but like, hello, it's a rare. I know that with these play boosters, like there are more rares now, like going around than it used to be. But I mean, still, right? Still, it's a rare. Anyway, but I mean, it's probably not your first pick, is where I'm getting at. And probably you can pick it up later if it, like, you know, goes around. I don't know, like for 3 black, you draw 3 cards and lose 3 life. It's nice that you can, you know, maybe like kill your opponent with it as well. But yeah, you know, overall this card is not great. I'm gonna give it a 2. Yeah, you honestly, you have to justify playing this card. That's my point. Next up is Karvak the Punisher, for 3 mana, 1 and double black, human warlock, 3/3. Whenever you commit a crime, exile up to 1 target black card from your graveyard and copy it. You may cast the copy. If you do, you lose 2 life. Okay. Oh wow. This is crazy good, right? It's very good. Again, first thing that comes to mind is Rakdos. Like, I guess it's going to be like crazy good in Rakdos. It's a very aggressive creature. It's a warlock. Yeah, this is pretty insane. I like it. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4 because I feel like compared to Giza, it requires more work. But yeah, this is strong. Honestly, this is strong. Next up, Pitiless Carnage, for 4 mana, 3 and 1 black, sorcery. Sacrifice any number of permanents you control, then draw that many cards, and it has a blood cost of 3, 1 and double black. Okay, this is like extremely situational. And like, honestly, in limited, I would assume probably you would want to play it in Orzhov. And in Orzhov only, just because like generally in that archetype, you will have a lot of expendable creatures and it's a sacrifice archetype. But yeah, like man, this card is very, very situational. I'm thinking 2 or 2.5, because like maybe in Orzhov, as I've just said, it's gonna be something. But honestly, I'm not sure. I'm gonna give it like, I'm gonna give it still like a 2, you know, just because the mana cost feels like, I get it that it's a card for late game, like, so probably the mana cost doesn't matter that much, but still. Yeah, I would play it only in Orzhov, and still, like, it's extremely situational. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't pay attention to it, that you can actually sacrifice lands too. Actually, yeah, like any number of permanents, not necessarily non-land. Hold on. Okay, let's discuss it. Let's discuss it further. Okay, yeah, you can steal your opponent's creature and sacrifice it for that. That's a good point then. Yeah, I get it. I get it that it's not necessarily creatures that you want to sacrifice. You can sacrifice lands too. Okay. Yeah. Let's give it 2.5 then, right? Because it's a little bit more flexible than I thought. I didn't pay attention that actually any permanents, not only non-land, but lands too. Yeah, built around for sure. Next up, Rush of Dread for 3 mana, 1 and double black sorcery with spree, +1, target opponent sacrifices half the creatures they control, rounded up. Okay. +2, target opponent discards half the cards in their hand, rounded up. And +2, target opponent loses half their life, rounded up. Okay. This is interesting. This is interesting, definitely. Okay. I mean, it's not your first pick. I wouldn't first pick it. But yeah, actually, there is something to it. It's definitely a crime, yeah. I agree. I don't know. Again, quite situational, and it feels a little bit awkward to me, this card. Mana costs and all that. Okay, Tiny Bones joins up for 1 black mana, legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, any number of target players each discards a card. Okay, whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life. Okay, so how can it be applicable in limited? Again, how can we justify playing this card? So the ETB for discard a card is probably not very strong, right? Even for 1 black mana. But then, like I get that there are quite a few legendary creatures in the set. Like in signposts, uncommons, they're all legendary creatures, and we've seen a bunch of them even today. But still, like. Legendary creature. 1 mana crime. 1 mana crime. But is it worth it though? I don't think so. Yeah, like I get it, but I was just, talking about, like, realistically, how many legendary creatures will you be able to draft? Especially, like, in black X colors. Yeah, it's probably, like, borderline in limited. Honestly, I want to give it a 1 for limited. I feel like, the fact is just too weak, requires too much work, and just overall probably never gonna work. Okay, but we can appreciate the art, and this is a beautiful card. Next up, again, here comes our Tiny Bones in the form of legendary creature, the Pickpocket. For 1 black mana, legendary creature, skeleton rogue, 1/1 death touch. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. Wow. It's like, now you're talking, right? This is nice. I mean, death touch gives some sort of evasion. but like at the same time, like what would you expect from a 1 mana creature, right? Yeah, the ability is very strong, and it's your 1 drop. This is nice. I would give it like 3.5 just because realistically people are just gonna trade with it, and it trades with mercenary token. Yeah, it needs some work, you know, it needs some work, but the effect is very strong, that's for sure. Maybe like in a deck where you have like crazy amount of removal, or I don't know, yeah, you can maybe probably add something to it to make combat more difficult for an opponent, then yeah. And the last black card is Vadmir New Blood. For 2 mana, 1 and 1 black vampire rogue 2/2. Whenever, also by the way, legendary creature. So whenever you commit a crime, put a +1/+1 counter on Vadmir. This ability triggers only once each turn, as it does. As long as Vadmir has 4 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has menace and lifelink. Nice. This is so solid. Like, I like it. It's very nice to drop. Yeah, it looks a little bit slow, but at the same time, it has a relevant creature type. Again, Ragdas, right? Ragdas, I feel like, is going to be quite aggressive. And Ragdas is based on committing crime. Outlaws committing crime all the time. Yeah, I like it. You know, pretty nice. I mean, you cast into your turn 2, and it can easily be like 3/3 turn 3, right? It's nice. I like it. It's 3.5. Just because I feel like it doesn't require much. And later in the game it's gonna be like a real threat. Alright. That's all with black. Let's move on to red. Exactly. Okay. So Calamity, Galloping Inferno for 6 mana, 4 and double red, horse, mount, 4/6 with haste. Whenever it attacks while saddled, choose a non-legendary creature that's saddled this turn and create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. Sacrifice the token at the beginning of the next end step. Repeat this process once. Wow. Nice. This is nice. And saddle cost is only 1. So, I mean, I get it. I get why the saddle cost is 1, just because, you know, basically you need just 1 creature to saddle it. You don't need to tap any more than that. And for, I guess, for the ease of the ability to. It's nice. Okay, I mean 6 mana, but at the same time, it's a creature with haste that deals a lot of damage potentially. Like, imagine, I would assume that mid/late game you would have like some solid board presence. And this is strong. Mana cost is like, yeah, but is it like 4 or 3.5? Honestly, like, I feel like it's a 4 just because it has haste. Yeah, exactly. And that's also a nice point, that it re-triggers ETBs. And I think it's nice that you sacrifice the tokens at the beginning of the next end step, so those tokens, they will attack the next turn as well. It's 4 or 5. Now that I'm thinking of it. Oh wow. Okay, let's give it a 4. Because still, like, it needs it needs some work, let's say, in terms of board presence, but like, come on. Oh, hold on. Next end step. Let me reread it. At the beginning of the next end step. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I got confused, you know, because it didn't just say at the beginning of the end step, on the next end step. Yeah, I think you're correct. But imagine if those tokens stayed for a turn. But I mean, still. Okay, it's a 4. That's true, that's true. Okay, that's a good point. You know, that's why I appreciate, you know, that we discuss these cards together, because sometimes, yeah, when you take a first look at the card, you maybe don't understand it fully. Yeah, here we can discuss and get to the point of it together. Okay. So next up, Great Train Heist. For 1 red mana instant with spree +3, 2 and 1 red. Untap all creatures you control. If it's your combat phase, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. Wow. +2 creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain first strike until end of turn. And +1 red mana, choose target opponent. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to that player, this turn create a tapped treasure token. This does a lot of different things. I mean, I guess, like, first 2 modes, I mean, all of them are quite relevant at the same time, right? This is, even though it's expensive, but it's like an alpha strike, I don't know, combat trick, sort of, but it's an alpha strike spell. I guess, like, you know, it could easily win a game. Honestly, like, imagine if you cast like first 2 modes. Three mana first strike. It's probably the baseline. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense, right? Which is, you know, not bad, right? It's like totally reasonable. I would say, like, the potential is there. Like 2.5/3 maybe. Listen, let's say 2.5, just because it has to be at the right moment. Otherwise, it easily become a blowout. But, like, honestly, cards like that, they, in the right moment, it's your win condition. Hell to Pay. For X and 1 red sorcery, it deals X damage to target creature. Create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the amount of excess damage dealt to the creature this way. Well, this is like, it reminds me of that Torch of the Witness, right? Where you created clue tokens for the excess damage. But this is a more fair version because it deals exactly X damage, not double X double, or what was the correct wording, but you get what I mean. All right, coming back to the previous, I agree. Like, honestly, like, yeah, that looks, yeah, in the right moment, as I was saying, the previous spell, like, yeah, it's a win con. I mean, this card is okay, right? It's okay. Hello, hello, Croax. What? 3? Let's get a 3. It's your removal, right? And maybe slash ramping, slash stabilization, infinite treasures, infinite artifacts, I don't know. It's quite universal. Okay, next up, Hellspur Possibles. So 4 mana, 2 and double red. These are rogue, 2/4. Other outlaws you control have haste. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red mercenary creature tokens with ability tap. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Wow. Okay, so this creature, again, it screams Ragnas, right? Because of the outlaw typo. This is great. Like, honestly, like this static ability is just like added bonus, but wow. So it enters the battlefield, and those mercenary tokens, they have haste. Like, hello. Oh wow, is it like, I want to give it a 5? But like realistic, it probably is just, you know, a solid 4. Or is it a 5? Like, just, you know, the sheer value of this card. And for 4 mana, you have 3 creatures. 2 of them have haste. So they can pump your other creature or just attack. Man, is it 5? I want to give it a 5. You know what? Let's go. Let's go. It's a 5. It's amazing. Like, this ETB is great. No, don't you think? Like, imagine, like it, like this ETB is insane. This ETB is insane. Like, it provides you with an excellent combat same turn. If it had flash, that would be like probably too much. Oh wow. I really like it. Okay, chat, you don't agree with me. You think it's a 4. I mean, I think it's up there. Wow. I feel like this card could win you a game. But let's give it a 4. Or 5. I want to give it a 5. I think it's a bomb. I get that, like, on its own, it doesn't have any evasion. But man, those tokens are real deal. Okay. Yeah, let's move on. Magda, the Horde Master. Or 2 mana, 1 and 1 red. Dwarf Berserker, so it's not an outlaw. 2/2. Whenever you commit a crime, create a tapped treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Sacrifice 3 treasures. Create a 4/4 red Scorpion Dragon creature token with line and haste. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, so Magda does her thing here in Thunder Junction as well. This is nice. Honestly, it's pretty neat. It's maybe unfortunate that this creature doesn't have an outlaw creature type, but like, hello. This is nice. And it's a great payoff if you have access of treasure tokens, whatnot. A little bit slow, but still, like, I think like you would first pick it just because the ability is too strong. Okay, Slick Shot Show Off for 2 mana, 1 and red. Bird Wizard. Again, not relevant creature type, but okay. 1/2 flying haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Slick Shot Show Off gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and it has a plot cost of 2. That's interesting. Why would you need this plot cost though? I mean, I get that some cards have this maybe like unnecessary plot cost just for you to maybe like curving like more easily later on, or I don't know. But like obviously if you draw it, you just cast it or 2-drop, no? Or yeah, like whenever you cast a non-creature spell again. This set is not about non-creature spells. Of course, there are non-creature spells, but where would you play this creature? Like in which archetype this creature would shine the most? Is it all about double spelling? Not so much about non-creature spells, just, you know, any spells, double spells. Then what other option? Ragdas. It's not an outlaw. Boris. I mean, okay, it's your like 1/2 flyer haste. Again, like not very strong, but okay, right? And the ability is probably also not gonna be so relevant. What other color combinations with red? That's it, right? Or am I losing it? Ragnas, Boris, and is it? Like, I don't know. So I'm not the biggest fan of this creature, to be honest. Like 1/2 flyer haste. I would say it's average. It doesn't fit any of the synergy. I don't know. It's weird. Next up is Stingerback Terror. 4 mana. Okay, here comes Scorpion Dragon. 2 and double red. 7/7 flying trample. It gets -1/-1 for each card in your hand. Okay, so sort of drawback for that cost. Like, justify the mana cost, right? And it has a plot cost of 3. Like, listen, here the plotting cost makes total sense. It's great. Like, imagine, like, this is beyond. You plot it turn 3, then you will be able to double spell in one of your later turns if you need to, or you just, you know, straight up and cast it next turn. Sorry, play it, right? Because you don't cast cards from exile, you play them. Wow, this is insane. Flying trample. Wow. Like, come on, it's a bomb, right? It's a 5. Like, this drawback, it's not. Yeah. Still, even if it's like 4/4, 3/3, still, like, yeah, it's gonna win you a game. Eventually, it's gonna win you a game, and it's like super synergetic with this double spelling strategy. So yeah, this is great. And the last red card is Terror of the Peaks. This is a reprint. No. 5 mana, 5/4, dragon. Line, spells your opponents cast that target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast. Whenever another, yes, it's a reprint, of course. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power turn target. This is like, this creature, it doesn't need any additional work. It just wins on its own. Yeah, it's a reprint, but basically it has ward of 3 life. Insane. Yeah, absolutely. It's a bomb. All right. Okay, moving on to green now. Yeah, right. Just random dragon. Okay, and the first green card is Bristly Bill Spinesower. Okay, for 2 mana, 1 and 1 green, plant druid, 2/2. Landfall. Okay. Haven't seen that in a while. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And it also has an activated ability of 5 mana, 3 and double green. Double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Wow. Wow. Okay, landfall. First of all, this mechanic is very strong. So we're gonna read the comments. So if only the cowboys hadn't killed all of the dragons. Oh yeah. Alright, so this guy. It's an amazing to drop that. That's just, you know, gets better and better as the game progresses. Like you cast it turn 2 and like turn 3, it's already like you can put counter on its own. It's a 3/3 creature. It's amazing. It's very strong. It's definitely 4. Those cactus folk. Who came up with this? This is like crazy. It looks so freaky, but I love it. Next up, Colossal Rattleworm for 4 mana, 2 and double green. Worm. 6/5. It has flash as long as you control a desert. Trample. And also it has an activated ability for 2 mana, 1 and 1 green. Exile Colossal Rattleworm from your graveyard. Search your library for a desert card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about deserts. There are quite a lot of them, and we've seen in the previous set review of commons and uncommons that there are deserts in every color pair, and there are additional colorless deserts. Yeah, like imagine. Like for limited, maybe you don't care that much about that flash, but still, like, it's gonna be a thing, you know. It's an additional, let's say, hidden archetype, this desert archetype, or maybe it's just Simic, we don't know, but I think it's like some sort of multicolored hidden archetype on deserts. You know, even unlimited, I feel like it can easily have flash. Like, come on. This is a messed up standard card. It's a messed up card just in general, I would say. Yeah, like, come on. It's a 5 for 4 mana, 6/5 Trampler that does something when it's in your graveyard. It's just amazing, amazing. It's gonna be so great. And Galgari, I would assume, like, in particular, just because of that graveyard interaction and whatnot, but like, just in any green deck, it's a bomb, I feel like. I feel like desert is very important because it's gonna be a thing, or at least, you know, Wizards have designed the set to be for it to be a thing, and then, you know, let's see how it is gonna be played out. Free Strider, Lookout. For 3 mana, 2 and 1 green, human rogue. 3/3 reach. Whenever you commit a crime, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Wow. Put the rest on the bottom of the library in a random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. Nice. Okay, so committing a crime in green maybe it's not gonna be as easy as in, let's say, Ragdas or Dimir colors, but still, I feel like you're gonna go to crime in any color, right? And probably in Galgari, this is gonna shine the most, just because it pairs with black, and it's a rogue, it's an outlaw. Anyway, I feel like it's pretty solid. It's a very good creature. I would say it's a 3, you know, because it still requires some work, and this committing a crime, it's a little bit odd in green, but still, I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Okay. Next up, Goldmane Hydra. For X and 1 green. Hydra 0/0, Vigilance, Trample, Haste. Okay. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Alright, yeah, because of the mana cost. I'm like, hello. It's a Hydra, of course. When it dies, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to its power. Alright, that's nice. Like, come on. Like, come on. Are you kidding me? Such a great creature. You know, this cost gives it so much flexibility, and it can easily become a finisher, and like, honestly, like, it's another 5. Vigilance, Trample, Haste, like, hello. I like that. It's quite flexible too. And, you know, treasure tokens. Why not? It's a nice bonus. Alright. Next up is Ornery Tumblewag. For 3 mana, 2 and 1 green. Brushwag Mount. 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Okay. Whenever it attacks while saddled, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature, and saddle cost is 2. Nice. Honestly, pretty strong, very aggressive, you know. In Selesnya, in Cruel, it's gonna be very, very strong, I believe. But yeah. Also, just very, very good creature. Very aggressive. Yeah, it doesn't have evasion, but the ability is really strong. Provides you with a good combat the turn that you cast it, so it's great. Actually, yeah. Yeah, like imagine. Okay, next up, Outcaster Trailblazer for 3 mana, 2 and 1 green, Human Druid for 2. When it enters the battlefield, add 1 mana of any color. Nice. Whenever another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card and has a pot cost of 3. Like, same pot cost as the mana cost. Yeah, this is very nice. Like, obviously, it's designed for Gruul with this synergy on creatures with power 4 or greater. This creature itself has power 4. Yeah, it's a great 3-drop for a Gruul deck, obviously. Other than that, like, I mean, attacking is going to be difficult, but overall interaction, I mean, if it just stays there on the battlefield, you draw cards. Or, you know, even if it works at least once, it's justified totally. Yeah, true. Like, plotting gives it flexibility, definitely. And I think that you would always plot it, right? Because of the ETB. Right. It's nice. I would say it's also like 3.5 just because of like this combined abilities. Great for Gruul. Next up is Railway Brawler. 5 mana, 3 and double green, Rhino Warrior. Reach Trample 5/5. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. And it also has a plot cost of 4. Like, what? Yeah, exactly. My thoughts exactly. This is insane. This is crazy. And thanks to plotting, you can activate, or I mean, this ability can work the same turn that you play this card. Like, you plot it turn 4, then you play it from exile, and then you cast another creature, and this one triggers. This is insane. It has reach and trample, like amazing stats for what it is. Honestly, I quite agree. Reach trample. Yeah, you cannot ignore it. Otherwise, yeah, it would win you a game, like, easy. And the last green card. What's up with that, Trojan horse? Smuggler's Surprise. Nice reference. 1 green mana instant with spree. +2 mill 4 cards. You may put up to 2 creature and 4 land cards from among the milled cards into your hand. Wow, I love it already. And then +5, 4 and 1 green. You may put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. This is meh. And +1, creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Okay, so first and last modes are going to be relevant for sure. The middle option, so let's say like for 6 mana, like, come on, at this stage of the game, you will already probably cast everything, or at least, like, realistically, how many creatures can be left? there. So yeah. Honestly, it's a very good card, especially in Golgari. It's gonna be great. Other than Golgari, other than Golgari, I mean, for Cruel, like the last mode, it's gonna be definitely useful, right? Sort of nice combat trick, like protection spell for 2 mana. Why not? This is nice. But I would still like rate it as 2.5, just because again, like Quiet Situation and like the middle mode, I don't like it at all. There's that. But if you have this self-mill / graveyard interaction strategy, whatnot, this is nice. That's not your first pick. Okay. So then let's move on to multicolored. First one. Okay. A cool, the Unrepentant. 4 mana, double black, double red, Scorpion Dragon Rogue. 5/5 flying trample. Okay, already, right? Sacrifice 3 other creatures. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcerer and only once each turn. Okay, so this ability, I don't think it's gonna be that relevant in limited, like, at all, maybe? Like, come on. But just on its own, 4 mana. Yeah, I know, a little bit difficult in terms of mana cost, but still, like, if you're in these colors, it's solid. It's Flyer, Trampler, 5/5. I'm just thinking, even if you were just straight up Ragdas, no splashes, no nothing, double black, double red, turn 4. I mean, it's feasible. It's feasible, definitely. But I agree. It's not going to be consistently cast on turn 4, so I'm going to stick 4, because it's not a limited ability, and the mana cost is difficult. I mean, if you are already in these colors, I guess it's okay. Yeah, treasures, true. But yeah, not on turn 4. I mean, still, it's a 5/5 Fire Trampler. Just that. Right? Okay, next up, Annie Flash, the Veteran. For 6 mana, 3 red, green, and white. So 9 colors. Human Rogue, 4/5 with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Okay. Whenever any Flash becomes tapped, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. Oh wow, this is insane. This is great. I mean, even for 6 mana, like, I get it. Honestly, it's so good. And the last ability, and it's very synergetic with the saddle. So you just saddle any Flash on another creature. This is amazing. I mean, it's a pure value creature. I would say like probably still 4, not a 5. But like, yeah, it's pure value. Mana cost is, yeah, it's a little bit difficult. It's a little heavy. It has flash. It has flash. Yeah, I also really like the effect, and like the second ability is relevant for sure, especially in this color. So yeah, you're gonna have some mount creatures, even though there are not that many. Actually, as it turned out, there are not many mount creatures in the format, but still, it's great. And a flash. Yeah, I would totally first pick it. Okay, so I'm gonna make a quick break and I'll be right back. And we'll continue, because there are, 34 more cards to go. Okay, I'm back. So let's continue. Next up is Annie joins up. Here comes Annie once again, but in the form of legendary enchantment. It costs 4 mana, 1 red, green, and white. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls if a triggered ability of a legendary creature you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Oh man, base card I don't like as much, just because the mana cost, right? For removal, it's just, it looks just straight up as a very difficult to cast one. Like, come on. And not to any target, just creature or planeswalker, right? And the static ability, again, it's probably not for limited. So I would say 2. Exactly. Yeah, my point. Exactly. But yeah. Difficult. Basically it's a removal that is way too difficult to cast. And yeah. Hello. Alright. Next up is Assimilation Aegis. How do you pronounce it? For 3 mana, 1 white and blue artifact equipment. So let's move on to Azorius. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target creature until this equipment leaves the battlefield. Wow, this is amazing. Okay, so it's an equipment / removal. All right. When it becomes attached to a creature, for as long as Assimilation Aegis remains attached to it, that creature becomes a copy of a creature card exiled with Assimilation Aegis. What? Wow. Nice. This is like next level. This is like your Oblivion Ring on steroids. This is insane. Yeah, exactly. Like, how about that? Oh, wow. Imagine. Wow. Honestly, it's a 5, like, for sure. Like, removal, but it's better than removal, right? Like, it's crazy. Like, hello. All right. Next up, Bonnie Paul Clear Cutter. Yes, it is. It is the new set with the cactus spider and giant possum. Exactly. This is a good way to describe the set. All right. So this creature, it has mana cost of 6, 3, 1 green, and double blue. Giant Scout, 6/5 with reach. When it enters the battlefield, create Bow, a legendary blue ox creature token with ability. This creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. And whenever you attack, draw a card, then you may put a land card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. All right. Amazing. Honestly, great. So at first, when I made a review of commons and uncommons, like the only archetype that didn't make sense to me was Simic. Like, it's still like, it's still kind of weird, right? So it says that it's all about plotting, but at the same time, we can see like hints of graveyard interaction. But I mean, yeah, Simic, Simic is still a mystery to me, but anyway, this creature is great. This, like, honestly, it's a 5, I would say. What do you think? Like, honestly, ETB is great because at least you'll have, yeah, you have two big creatures, right? Exactly. At least 6/6 token and this guy with reach and pretty neat ability too. Like, honestly, draws you cards. Wow, this is great. So yeah, yeah, in rares and mythics, all of those. Well, we'll see a lot of legendary creatures. So yeah, and it's a rare, it's not a mythic. Nice. Okay. Next up, Breaches. Hello, hello, Breaches, the Blast Maker. So you see, like, everyone from different planes, they came to play on Thunder Junction. Nice. It costs 3 mana, 1 blue and red. 3/3 manas. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, flip a coin. When you win the flip, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. When you lose the flip, Breaches, the Blastmaker deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target. Like, okay, so you lose the flip, but you don't lose the flip. Not really. Wow, this is great. Again, it's the easy theme, double spelling. It's great, honestly, and thanks to plotting, it can also work the same turn, like this ability. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. You have to have these treasure tokens, right? But in red, in particular, we've seen quite a few like treasure tokens, generators, and even in green, like remember that combat trick for 2 mana, create a treasure token and like target creature gets +2/+2 for each treasure. So I mean, yeah, at the same time it's easy, it's not green, but like my point is that there are some cards that generate tokens, treasure tokens, mostly in red. So I'm gonna give it a 4, you know. The ability is great. Like the stats, everything is great. Just, yeah, only this could be an issue a little bit to have artifacts. Next up, as Ruiz Toril, a Roving Rancher, for 4 mana, 2 red and white. Summon Warrior, 4/3. Oxen you control have double strike. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or attacks. Okay, so we have ATB and attack and trigger. Exile the top card of your library. If it's a land card, create a 2/2 white ox creature token. Otherwise, you may cast it until the end of your next turn. Whoa, exactly. This is great. This is so much value. Like, honestly, like this ability is pretty insane. Like even if this ETB would be okay, but the fact that you can activate it at least twice, you know? At least once you will go to combat, I'm pretty sure. Now this is amazing. I love it. I'm gonna say it's still like a 4 because I think that like it's, yeah, it's because 5 is a bomb. It's a creature that you cast and you win a game. I mean, it's still somewhere in between, I would say, because your opponent have to do something about it. Just my problem is that it may be not gonna always go to combat, right? But at least twice you'll get those triggers. So yeah. Ariette, the Beguiler. Ariette here as well. From Eldraine. So 4 mana. Here we have Esper color combination 1. White, blue, and black. Human Warlock. 4/4 lifelink. Okay, so already nice. If not for a mana cost, that would be great already, but still. So whenever an aura you control becomes attached to a non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to that aura's mana value, gain control of that permanent for as long as that aura is attached to it. Yeah, like, this is a bummer. Like, this ability. Like, realistically, okay. Like, what aura? There are no no, pacifisms, right, in the format? Or are there? But I mean, still, it's probably, it's like, yeah, it's never gonna work. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, 4 mana for 4 lifelinker. That's it. Which is hard to cast. Let's give it a 3, you know? Right, right. That's a good point. Even if you, yeah, specify something, how much this is worth still in there. Exactly. But I mean, if you are in these colors, then why not, right? 4/4 lifelinker. Solid. To sacrifice it later. But then you already spend a card. Yeah, it's kind of, it doesn't make sense for a limited. Not really. All right. So, Naya. Curate, Mirror of the Wilds. 3 mana. Exactly. Red, green, and white. Human Shaman. 3/3 with haste. Non-token creatures you control have tap. Create a token that's a copy of target token you control that entered the battlefield this turn. Okay. So here we can see like some sort of interaction with those mercenary tokens, I guess. I mean, again, kind of weird ability, right? But like 3/3 for 3 with haste. Again, difficult mana cost. Like, I believe Curate is somewhere somewhere in between with Ariat. Like, I mean, it's nice, but then difficult to cast, and maybe even worse than Ariat. The ability is really weird. Creature type is also not very relevant. It's like a 3 or 2.5. I don't know. The only thing that I like about this creature is that it has haste. Okay, let it be 3, just because, again, if you're in these colors, then it's fine, but I would never first pick it. And just, yeah. You'd put as a build around. Honestly, it feels worse than Ariat, just because 3/3/4/3 with haste, and not just any 3, but difficult 3, right? 2.5. Let it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Garrett. Okay. The Gitrog, Ravenous Ride. Okay, Gitrog, hello from Innistrad, right? For 5 mana, 3 black and green, Frog Horde Mount, 6/5 Trample Haste. Already nice, right? So what does it do? Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice a creature that's saddled it this turn. If you do, draw X cards, then put up to X land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, where X is the sacrifice creature's power. Saddle 1. Listen, again, the ability I'm not sure, like, but just forget about this saddle thing. 6/5 Trample Haste for 5 mana. Very solid. Very, very solid. And then, like, if you need to, if you have some sort of interaction with sacrifice, or I don't know. This is great. Honestly, I would say 3.5 to this, just because of the stats. Trample, haste, great. And like saddle, I mean, it draws you cards, you know, which is also fine, because, so why not? Hold on, yeah. Honestly, yeah. I'm first picking this all day. Let me reread it. So you sacrifice a creature, but then you draw cards. Okay. And then you can also put lands. Yeah, this is very solid. Honestly, this just, yeah, it's excellent. Sure. And like me personally, I'm actually very excited about this Golgari archetype. I feel like this graveyard interaction is gonna work for real in this set. It's pretty neat. Next one is Kambal Profiteering Mayor Orzhov. So for 3 colors, 1 white and black, Human Advisor, 2/4. Whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under your opponent's control, for each of them, create a tap token that's a copy of it. This ability triggers only once each turn. And whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Oh wow. Okay, so for limited, the first ability is pretty nice. I mean, obviously, if you're in Orzhov colors, you're gonna play it regardless. Regardless, like whether your opponent has those tokens or not, it doesn't matter, because you would probably have tokens. I mean, this Orzhov archetype at least suggests that you better do. So this draining, I mean, the effect is probably not that strong, right? But still, it's okay. So, I mean, against some decks, it may be better and better than the others. Just because, you know, first thing that comes to mind, those mercenary tokens, right? They're great. But yeah, other than that, it's so-so. It's quite, I don't know, mediocre for limited. I mean, the stats are pretty nice, like quite defensive, but I would say it's like 2.5 still. Again, very situational, and it's not gonna be universally good. Yeah, it's okay, but you know, it's not great. It's very situational. Just like baseline. Alright, Callan joins up. So we have banned colors, 3 mana, green, white, and blue, legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your hand. If you do, it becomes plotted. And whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Wow, this effect is strong, to be honest. Like, especially comparing to the previous like legendary effects, enchantments. And yeah, I don't know how many legends there are in commons and uncommons, but obviously rares and mythics, they're all pretty much legends, all the creatures. I mean, is from what I see now, almost all of them are legends. Yeah. I don't know. Also, it feels like a build around, right? Yeah, exactly. Like, truly, like in limited, especially in draft, you have to justify playing a card like that. It has to work. And more than once, I would say. Yeah, plotting a card with mana value 3, like, really, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But again, listen, maybe talking about this hidden, let's say, desert archetype, maybe it's gonna work there, you know, like legends and stuff like that. But I mean, 2 or 2.5, I'm not sure. I mean, it could be something, or, you know, it's just straight up not worth it. I'm gonna say 2.5 because maybe there is something, but just in general, this card is not good for limited, in my opinion. Just like the fact that, yeah, maybe in some multicolored decks it would work. Next up, Callan the Kid. For 3 mana, green, white, and blue. Human Fairy Rogue, 3/3 flying lifelink. Okay, so it's like, now you're talking, right? Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, hint, plotting, right? Exile. You may cast a permanent spell with equal or lesser mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Wow. This is crazy. This ability is insane. It's very nice. I mean, plotting maybe is not gonna be so prevalent in these colors, in this particular color combination, but I mean, still it's great. Flying lifelink, like, yeah, I would say like it's a solid 4. Maybe it's not like a bomb, but if you make it work, especially this ability, it's just, yeah, it's great. And just in general, like, yeah, 3/3 for 3 flying lifelink. A little bit difficult to cast, but still worth it. Yeah, plot on turn 2. Play him turn 3, cast the plot. True, you know, it's feasible. Thing is that it's totally feasible. Laughing Jasper Flint Ragdus. Colors for 3 mana, 1 black and red wizard rogue for 3. Creatures you control but don't own are mercenaries in addition to their other types. Okay. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top X cards of target opponent's library, where X is the number of outlaws you control. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from among those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. It's crazy. Dr. Hudson, thank you for a follow. Hello. Wow, this is great. So obviously you have to have an outlaw deck. So you have to have this creature type prevalent in your deck. And this guy itself is an outlaw. It's a rogue. Okay, let me just quickly reread it. Wow. It's crazy. So at least, you know, yeah, just imagine if it's if it's the only outlaw that you have, you exile 1 card, so it still works. This is insane. It doesn't have to do anything. It's a crazy card advantage. That's very nice. Like, honestly, it's a solid 4, right? Just because, again, it has to fit a certain archetype. I mean, it doesn't require much because it works with itself, but still, just imagine. Right, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't need to attack too. That's true. That's great. Okay. Lila, undefeated slick shot for 3 mana, 1 blue and red human rogue, 3/3 with prowess. Whenever you cast a multicolored instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that spell instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. And if you do, it becomes plotted. Nice. So, nice. Basically, you have the same spell twice. But then again, like, how many multicolored instant or sorcery spells are there? I don't know. I didn't count. Right. But the ability is strong. Like, it's there. Like, I remember the only one that blue and red, it deals 2 damage to any target. But yeah, I agree, not that many, right? Unfortunately. And I think it was also an uncommon. So, okay, what do you think? I mean, the ability is pretty great, but probably hard to make it work. Still, it's a good creature, you know? I think it's a 3. Okay, next up, Malcolm the Ice. For 2 mana, blue and red Siren Pirate, 2/2 blind haze. Okay. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, investigate. Oh wow, I love it. I absolutely love it. This is great. This is great. Like, truly, I think I would first pick it. Easy. And I'm actually very excited about this. Double spelling archetype as well, is it? I love it. And, you know, like, cards like that feel effortless. You know, they don't require much. And just perfect to drop if you're in these colors. Okay, Marquisa, Dealer of Death. Grixis colors. Blue, black, and red. Human Rogue. 3/4. Whenever you commit a crime, you may pay 1. If you do, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Nice. Honestly, nice. I mean, yeah, the mana cost of all those creatures is quite difficult. Yeah, it's like, it's a whole other issue, but let's imagine if it's not. If you're in these colors, although, like, I'm kind of wondering, is it gonna be like a truly multicolored set, or is it gonna be more like Murder's Scarlet Manor, like 2 colors is the best thing? I'm not sure. Okay, so at uncommons, there are 4 multicolored instant or sorceries. All uncommons, and only one is it. Okay, thank you, Zafrani. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. This is, yeah. Here it is. Okay, so about this creature. So committing a crime. So I would assume if you're playing this creature, you're either Rakdos or Dimir, more likely, right? And committing a crime, is there is a theme for both of those guilds, let's say, slash color combinations. I mean, it's nice. It's value, card advantage. It's a 3. I guess it's a 3. I like that the creature type is relevant. But yeah, just, you know, let's just, all things considered, mana cost, and it requires work, but I like it. Honestly, it may be even better than Lila, the Izzet creature with prowess. But we're talking about splashes here, I think. So. Okay, Obika, Splitter of Seconds. Another Grixis creature for 4 mana, 1, blue, black, and red. Ogre Warlock. Okay, relevant creature type. It's important. 2/5 manas. When it deals combat damage to a player, you get that many additional upkeep steps after this phase. What? Okay, so it's like the best friend of Laughing Jasper Flint. Where is it? This one. Best bud. Okay, so the ability is very, very weird. Why? Why would you need that? Unlimited. Man. What is that? 2.5? Or even like 2. Just... I don't know. The ability is probably not gonna be so relevant at limited at all. Yeah, the mana cost 4 mana. Is it a 2? I can't think of any like unbuilt rounds. Yeah, this ability it's gonna work. And anyway, listen, if I didn't know that it was gonna be so hard to read these cards. Listen, this mana costs are killing me. Like, what's going on? Is it gonna be a multicolor set then? Yeah. Okay, so the one that everyone so hyped about, Oko is back. Oko is back in standard. The Ringleader for 4 mana, 2 green and blue legendary planeswalker Oko. It has 3 loyalty counters and a static ability off. At the beginning of combat on your turn, Oko the Ringleader becomes a copy of up to 1 target creature you control until end of turn, except he has hexproof. Nice. For +1, draw 2 cards. If you've committed a crime this turn, discard a card. Otherwise, discard 2 cards. Okay. -1, create a 3/3 green elk creature token. And -5 for each other non-land permanent you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent. Wow, this is interesting. What's going on with his cloak? That's a good question, but well, as with any Magali Villeneuve's art, it's very beautiful. Absolutely stunning Oko. Right. Listen, the static ability is very interesting, right? I mean, like, come on. I think it's still a 5, right? Just because the planeswalkers are quite bomby and limited. It's not optional. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it is. It is. Up to. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, of course, because there may be a situation where you don't have a creature, but still, if you cast it, if you like the worst case scenario, you don't have any creatures, right? You cast Oko, you create a green elk token, and next turn Oko can become an elk too. Right? Did I get it correctly? Reading the cards explains the cards. Yeah, sometimes, like, honestly, those wordings are sometimes they're hard to get from the first reading. But yeah. So, okay, you have to commit crimes to get value. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that it has only like 3 loyalty counters. I think we got like way too spoiled with those planeswalkers that create tokens for plus counters. That's true. That's true. Kind of gives creatures haste. Yes. So this is nice. Yeah, like imagine if you have like a nice board state, right? If it lives, and if you can resolve like the ultimate. Yeah, this is pretty much it. It's very, very interesting. True, yes, you can work that mount. Yeah, you can settle something with it too. Or, yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like it can work in various strategies. Or, yeah, the mount can settle. How's that? All right, now let's move on before it's gotten too weird. Let's next up is Pillage the Bog, Golgari, black and green sorcery. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is twice the number of lands you control. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order, and this card has a blood cost of 3. Sorry, I was reading the class, yeah. Okay, so again, man, have to reread this. So we look at the top X cards. Okay, X is twice the number of lands we control. So even if we cast on our turn 2, we look at the 4 top cards of our library. Then we just put a land. No, sorry. Yeah, put a land into our hand, and the rest on the bottom. That's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, it's okay, right? If you're in these colors. I mean, like, probably like 2.5. And, yeah, like, it's a shame that it doesn't put cards in graveyard. That's true. At least not unlimited, definitely not really what you want to see in your rare slot. It's like even 2. I don't know. I mean, plotting gives it flexibility of some sorts. Also, like the mana cost. Man, let's give it a 2. I kind of hate giving it a 2, but it's a 2. No. All right. Ragdas joins up. Legendary enchantment for 5 mana, 3 black and red. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever a legendary creature you control dies, Ragdas joins up, deals damage equal to that creature's power to target opponent. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. This is nice. So, yet again, it's your reanimation spell for 5 mana, sorcery speed, except that it's an enchantment and it does something later. Yeah, me too. Me too. Like, additional +1/+1 counters is not nothing, right? The second, the static ability is situational. Sometimes it's gonna work, sometimes it's not. But the fact that it reanimates and puts counter on it, it's quite good. So I'm gonna say it's a 3. I don't know, like, maybe it's just me, but generally I have a soft spot for those reanimation spells. Next up, Ragdas the Muscle. Okay, so 5 mana, 2 double black and red, Demon Mercenary. Sorry, Demon Mercenary. 6/5 Flying Trample. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, exile cards equal to its mana value from the top of target player's library. Okay, so you have options. Until your next end step, you may play those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Okay, so committing a crime all the way. Then sacrifice another creature. Ragdas the Muscle gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Activate only once each turn. Okay, so it looks absolutely busted, but at the same time, this sacrifice synergy is not really a Ragdas thing in the set. It's more in Orzhov colors, so it's gonna really work. Because it's a great payoff for sacrifice, but it doesn't enable this strategy, right? Oh no, it does. What am I talking about? You can sacrifice another creature and give it indestructible, and then the first one will work. Yeah, like reading cards like truly helps understanding them. Okay, so yeah, all right, I get it now. So it's like enabler and a payoff in one, but my problem is that, as I've just said, it's not really a Ragdas thing in this set. I mean, it's just generally a Ragdas thing, sacrificing things. Oh man, I don't know, what do you think? For 5 mana, 6/5 Flying Trample is solid, of course, and the ability is also there. I mean, honestly, it's still a 5, right? Even if you don't have this like, synergy, like still, like, what you gonna do about this creature? Like, if you have something else, yeah, your opponent's removal doesn't work, and then you also have value. Not only Ragdas becomes indestructible, but you also exile top decks and commit a crime. Nice. Totally, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's not so much about synergy, just yeah, 6/5 Flying Trample that, yeah, you cannot so easily kill or to deal with. That's a good way to summarize it. Next up is Riku of Many Pots. 3 mana, 2 more colors. Green, blue, and red. Human wizard. Not an outlaw. 3/3. Whenever you cast a modal spell, choose up to X, where X is the number of times you chose a mode for that spell. Alright. So here are our options. You either exile or exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play it, and or put a +1/+1 counter on Riku of Many Pots. It gains trample until end of turn, and or create a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying. Okay, listen, this is nice. Okay, speaking of our 3/3s for 3 with the difficult cost, there is maybe something, but at the same time, like realistically, how many times is this ability gonna work? Yeah, exactly, it's pre-cards, of course, but seems tough to set up, exactly. Yeah, how many times is it gonna work realistically? And you exile only 1 top deck. The payoffs are okay, but not like super strong, right? Yeah, like difficult, quite difficult to set up too. Let's give it like a 2.5, right? If it works, it's okay, but maybe not. Maybe not worth it. Definitely not your first pick. Next up is Roxanne, Starfall Savant. For 5 mana, 3 red and green. Cat Druid, 4/3. So okay. Cruel theme, creatures with power 4. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a tapped colorless artifact token named Meteorite. Cute. With when Meteorite enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. And tap, add 1 mana of any color. This is amazing. Whenever you tap an artifact token for mana, add 1 mana of any type that artifact token produce. Wow, this is great. This is pretty neat and very cute. So our Roxanne creates meteorites. This is insane. Yeah, I love that too. It was very nice, honestly. Like, it's a straight up 4 for sure. I love it, and the art is very cute too. Rainy meteors, yeah. Nice. Satoru, the Infiltrator. Okay, so hello from Kamigawa. For 2 mana, blue and black. Human Ninja Rogue, 2/3 with Menace. Whenever whenever a Satoru and or 1 or more other non-token creatures enter the battlefield under your control, if none of them were cast or no mana was spent to cast them, draw a card. How does it work? So it doesn't have plot. Satoru doesn't have plot. Yeah, I mean, it works with other creatures that do have plot cost. Yeah, but it doesn't work with Satoru itself, fortunately. Okay, so I guess this wording It's not meant for limited, right? Ooh, reanimation spells. Okay, okay. I see it. Now I see it, yeah. Does it work with the reanimation spells? No mana was spent to cast them. Actually, yeah, you don't really cast them, right? Yeah. Now listen. Still it works with other creatures that do have blotting cost. And you know, if you're in demo colors, it's a rogue, it's a relevant creature type, it's a perfect to drop, very aggressive, like on its own, right? 2-3 menace, very nice stats. So honestly, I would say like it's 3.5 for sure. I like the ability, even if it doesn't work for Sator itself. Like if you have plotting and whatnot, it's great. Flickers. Yeah, well, I'm not the biggest fan of this blinking effect, and it's all in white too. But anyways, yeah. Sylvala, Eager Trailblazer for 4 mana, 2 green and white, Elf Scout, 4/5 with Vigilance. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 red mercenary creature token with an already set ability. And for tap, choose a color, add 1 mana of that color for each different power among creatures you control. Oh wow, this is nice. Like honestly, this is amazing. This is great. So I love everything about this creature. Stats, mana cost, perfect. 4 mana, 4/5 vigilance, like hello. And yeah. Oh my god, Elliot. Hello, Raiders. Edit. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. And hello, Raiders. Welcome. I do a part 2 of my limited set review, Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Today we discuss rares and mythics, and just in terms of limited. So yeah, this creature. Oh, hold on. Oh. Okay, let's give a shout out to Elliot. Oh, that is great. Okay. This is no. Like when you cast this spell, it doesn't create a token, right? Whenever you cast a creature spell. Like I'm not sure. I don't think so, right? So it will only work in the future. Yeah, that would be probably too much, right? But honestly, it's nice. And like the fact that it can also stabilize you, or I don't know. This is nice. If you've blotted a creature, right. No, honestly, like it's a solid 4. I would easily like first pick it. Okay. Next up, Seraphic Steed, also in Selesnya colors. 2 mana, green and white unicorn mount. Oh, who would want to mount a unicorn? 2/2, first strike, lifelink. Whenever Seraphic Steed attacks while saddled, create a 3/3 white angel creature token with flying. Saddle is 4. Oh, okay. So here, this is probably the first creature with saddle 4 from we've seen. I thought that 3 was maximum. No. But like, come on. Like, this ability is insane. Wow, I love it. This is just great. I mean, if it had, if it was like 2/2/4/2 with first strike lifelink, it would be good still. But like, come on, with this ability. Yeah, like I get it that it's probably not gonna happen until you're turn 4 or 5, but still. First strike lifelink, like, so you cast turn 2, you like attack, chill, gain life, and then like you settle it, and let's go. You win the game. Wow. But at the same time, I mean, it's still fine. It has to attack once, right? Well settled, at least. And I would assume that in these colors, if you're building like this Selesnya archetype on mounts, you have to have a lot of combo tricks. Like, otherwise, I think it's not gonna work. Right. Yeah, this is amazing. Hello, thank you. I mean, it's definitely a 4, you know what? And yeah, Floor, thank you so much for a follow. Thank you. Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a very beautiful art. All right. Okay, let's move on. ATM Light, thank you so much for a follow. Hello. Yeah, exactly. Like, first strike lifelink. If you have combat tricks, oh wow. It's gonna, yeah. It's gonna be very, very hard to deal with late game. When you start settling it, like, hello. Okay, moving on. Tai Vakin, perfect shot for 2 mana. Red and white. Have a human mercenary, 2/3, with ability whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to a creature equal to that creature's toughness, draw a card. Wow. What a wording. And it has an activated ability of X and tap. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player this turn, it deals that much damage plus X instead. Okay, listen, I need to read it to really get it, like this wording, but it seems like more of a constructed card rather than limited, right? Because, like, come on, in limited, it's pretty hard to deal non-combat damage, at least to a player. I mean, in red, yeah, it's fine. We have like pretty much all of the red removal is deals damage, is non-combat damage. But yeah. But oh my god, this word. Okay, so like you deal. Okay, so you, let's say, cast a removal spell, deal a non-combat damage to a creature. Exactly, like, yeah. Well, that makes sense, right? But it has to be strictly equal to its toughness, right? To draw a card. I mean, still. Feels kind of slow. You know what? Like, it's definitely not a first pick, right? In limited, but if you are already in these colors, it's a fine to drop, right? Like 2/3 for 2. It's okay. You know what? I think it's kind of situational. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I don't know. It's kind of, yeah. Sometimes it's gonna work, but maybe not really. Yeah, how many shocks are you gonna draft, you know? I don't think that this set is about this interaction. Yeah, it takes some time, it takes a lot of work, and yeah, it's difficult to set up, right? Okay, next up is Vraska joins up. Okay, so Callan has already joined. Now Vraska. For 2 mana, black and green, have legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, put a death touch counter on each creature you control. Alright. And it has a static ability of whenever a legendary creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Alright, this is okay, this is a strong effect. But again, this like cycle of legendary enchantments feels like a total build around. Again, like I'm thinking about this crazy multicolored archetype, as I call it, like hidden desert or something like that. I don't know, I like this art. I love this art. But anyway, speaking of the card, 2.5, let's say, right? It's definitely built around. It's not gonna be great in any deck. I mean, Death Touch counter is fine, but then like you have to have some count of legendary creatures to make all those enchantments work. Yeah. Yeah, also, you know, Death Touch works great with bite spells. I totally agree, it's very situational. And I build around. Next up, Vraska the Silencer. For 3 mana, 1 black and green, Gorgon Assassin. 3/3 with Death Touch. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return that card to the battlefield tapped under your control. It's a treasure artifact with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana, opening color, and it loses all other card types. Wow. This? Okay, this is great. I love Vraska. Really nice, really nice. Yeah, I mean, again, it feels a little bit slow, right? But at the same time, it's pretty cool. Like, all the ETBs with that creature, will they work? Judge. Would the ETBs work in this case? Oh, I guess not, right? Because, hold on. This artifact, it would lose the card type, but I mean, still, it's just a 3/3 4/3 with the Death Touch. I don't think so. I think like this ability, like you will get those treasures for sure, but it's kind of slow. A little bit slow. Soma Del Noche, thank you so much for your follow. Hello. Like at first, you know, when I read this card, I was like super excited, but then like the more I think of it, it's alright. It's alright, right? But I don't know. Yeah, like I kind of want to give it a 3.5 to be honest, because the ability is there, you know. I want to give it a 3.5 because still, like, treasures is not nothing, especially if you're like playing 3 colors, let's say. Yeah, I agree. It's not a bomb. It's not like Yeah, it's not gonna win you a game, but it's useful. It's there. It's solid. Let's say. It's slow. Yeah, my problem is that it's kind of slow, but it's okay. Next one is Wily Duke, a teen hero. I hope I pronounce it correctly. I'm sorry if I don't. Anyway, for 3 mana, 1 green and white human ranger, 4/2 with vigilance. Whenever Wily or Willy, I would say Wily Duke becomes tapped, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Wow. Nice. This is nice. Right? Okay, so it has vigilance, which means that you have to settle other amounts with it for the ability to work. Yeah, he sure loves the mount. Yeah, this is nice. Oh wow, this is amazing. But I mean, I would say like also like 3.5 in the right deck. Wow, it's gonna be great. Problem is that again, there are not many mounts in the format, in the set. Then there are not many mounts. But yeah, I agree. It could be insane. Could be really good. All right. Well, yeah, for 2 vigilance isn't that useful. You really want to settle with it. All right. Okay, and oh, is that it? Yes. We have lands, which are not deserts. Oh, I thought they were. They're not deserts, but still. Okay, but you know, this is exciting. Those lands are very exciting. New fast lands, right? Well, they're good. Those lands are good and limited. Maybe, yeah, the problem is that you would want to open a land in the rare slot, but I mean, regardless. Rubbish and construction, come on. No, fast lands are very good, of course. This is very exciting, both for standard and alchemy as well. So yeah. Listen, lands are 3, this sort of dual lands are 3, definitely. Exactly. That's a good way to summarize it. You'll play them in your colors. They enable a splash, stabilize you. You know, they don't require anything, but obviously not your first pick. Okay, so yeah, we've seen a Golgari land, Simic, Borzhov, Boris. Is it? And that's it. And we're done. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, people. So, yeah. Honestly, like my first impressions, I feel like this form is gonna be fun. Like I'm very excited about Exit Archetype, this double spelling, and also about Golgari. Those 2 archetypes I'm probably the most excited about. Favorite cards? Wow. Oh god. From rares? Oh. Honestly, like I cannot think like just like that. I cannot think of anything, to be honest. Oh, thank you all. Thank you. I truly appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for watching. Port Razor's rate. Port Razor. Hold on. Let me find it. But you know what? I'm gonna upload the VOD of this stream on my YouTube channel, which is at Mr. and Mrs. Spike, so you can always check it later if you want. So yeah, but I'm gonna wrap for today. Again, thank you all so much, and I will see you next time. Let's raid somebody. We're streaming now. Let's see. Oh, let's go to Nighthawks. Why not? Nighthawks is a historic mostly player, I think, and he's been consistently making top 10 mythics, so. Alright. Okay, people. Bye-bye.